Welcome to Heart Talks. The purpose and intention for these talks is to inspire, empower, and to bring a higher perspective and community awareness with topics not only in real estate, but also in finance, relationships, wellness, and spirituality. So get ready and enjoy as we share our next episode on Heart Talk. Welcome to Heart Talks, everyone. This is your host, Lala Delgado, and in today's episode, we have a beautiful guest, a special guest. She's a mother, a wife, and soon to be a grandmother, a Reiki master, and today she's going to share her journey, her story, and I'd like for you to help me welcome Delmy Mungia. Thank you for coming to our Heart Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for saying yes. I know it's not easy. It's not easy to be here and just really sharing your journey, your story. Mm-hmm. And you and I have known each other for a very long time. I mean, our kids went to St. Margaret Mary's from preschool all the way through 8th grade.
Yes.
And little did we know that we were going to be right here having this conversation about so many beautiful things, about Reiki and our spiritual journey. So thank you for saying yes and showing up. And, and the whole purpose of this, like I shared with you when I was inviting you to our talk, was just to be able to bring awareness and inspire others that might be going through their journey mm-hmm. and might want to learn a little bit more of what's available for the community mm-hmm. to support themselves in their journey as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored and humbled to be here and to share this journey with you.
Yeah. And one of the things that reconnected us again was you are now the co-founder of Grace Healing Group.
Yes.
Through a Reiki practice and practitioner. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
So Grace Healing Group was founded in 2020, right before the pandemic. A group of Reiki healers mm-hmm. that were going to start giving Reiki to nurses at the Huntington Memorial Hospital.
Yeah.
Right when they were set to start, the pandemic hit, so we were no longer able to go into the hospital. Mm-hmm. So Angela, the founder, one of the co-founders, she said, "Okay, what do we do? Let's take it virtually."
Wow. Yeah.
So since March of 2020, we've been sending Reiki virtually through Zoom. Yeah. To nurses at Huntington Memorial, and it was so needed for them at that time. So the Reiki healers came together and just once a month took care of anywhere from 15 to 20 nurses at a time. And for me, this was a way of practicing my Reiki because I had just become Reiki attuned right at the pandemic time.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So right now with Grace Healing, we are continue working with Huntington Memorial. Mm-hmm. We have expanded. We now work also with USC Keck.
Yes,
Wellness
I saw that.
Center.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's been amazing. So we're now taking care of nurses, doctors, hospital staff.
Wow.
And we continue expanding. So we're very excited of what's to come, what more is to come for Grace Healing.
Yeah, and you know what I really loved about Grace Healing Group when I became aware of that and I got invited through you as a Reiki master, mostly we offered that to the public or to the facilitators, mm-hmm. right? Or we're facilitating people. But what I found so fascinating about what you guys are doing is you're providing it for the healers, meaning the doctors, the nurses, and also for other healers, not just yes. Reiki healers or facilitators, but any healer out there, because we need that as well.
Exactly. So our motto is heal the healer. And so we started, all the healers that come in to take care of the nurses mm-hmm. and the doctors, and they're all volunteer. So in return, we have sessions for them. Mm-hmm. And we have Reiki shares just for them, to give back to them, to help them, for the time that they're giving and the energy that they're giving us. So So yeah, we do Reiki shares once a month for them. We're doing in-person events, and we're slowly starting to grow. And I'm always looking for more healers so that the more healers we have, the more nurses, the more doctors, the more staff we can take care of.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And if for anyone out there, if you're a healer, please connect, and she's going to give us her information. But I also experienced that for myself. I did that, I believe, back in January, a couple of months. I did the Reiki share with you,
Yes,
and with the group and other healers. And then we went to General Hospital. And I'll tell you, that was such a profound experience for me. It was very heart opening, because I didn't know what to expect, but it's a beautiful thing how you can come together in your community as healers and connect with other healers.
exactly.
And share what other people are doing, and just really support each other in that community. So it's a beautiful thing that Grace Healing Group and yourself have really opened up in our community and throughout California, I would say.
Yeah, and I've been fortunate enough that I have the support of my family. You know, my husband, my kids, I have their support in this journey that I'm on. Some healers, they don't have that support. So that's what we're here to give them, is a community that they can talk to like-minded people and be together with like-minded people where we can talk woo-woo.
Yes. Woo, I know, we love our woo-woo.
You know, we can talk about, the energy healing, we can talk about the crystals, and, and yet still talk about family and friends and regular stuff that's happening in our lives, and keep connected that way.
Yeah, and I know I connected with a lot of beautiful healers out there, and also learn from them. Like, what I can incorporate into my practice, or maybe support each other. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you're doing here. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper here, Delmy, because I know we had connected because our kids went to school together, and then, they went off to college. We didn't see each other for a while. And then after COVID, somehow Spirit brought us back together. Tell me about your journey, because I know, and I don't know how deeply you want to go into that. I know you weren't always into Reiki. And
No, yeah.
So how did you get involved with that? And, maybe you could share a little bit about your own personal journey of what brought you there.
So in my regular 9 to 5, I'm in the food industry, and I had been traveling a lot for food shows, and one of the events a lunch that I went to, one of my friends, it works at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes,
Yes.
a museum in LA. Mm-hmm. And out of the blue, she asked me if I could curate a trip for the museum. I'm like, I'm in the food industry. I'm not in travel.
Why me, right?
Yeah. And she's, curate a trip. I see you're traveling, and you can put something together for us. And I took on the challenge, and I said, okay, let me see what I can do. And, the area that I'm familiar with is the Yucatan Peninsula. My parents were born in Mérida.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, this is the area that I know. This is where I can put something together. And she said yes. Mm-hmm. So my cousin that's in the Cancun area had just opened a boutique hotel, and the city is called Coba. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to him, and I said, I have this museum that wants to do a trip. Can we do this? He said, absolutely, let's put it together.
Right.
So we went back and forth. We put this beautiful trip together, and she gave me some criteria, non-touristy, and it needed to be educational. Okay. And I said, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'm like, okay, let's do this, put it together. And I did once they approved it, I did the trip myself, and I said, okay, what are they going to do? What are they going to see? I need to experience
it.
And then they came. They had a beautiful time. We had a cooking experience. We had an art experience. We had a shaman experience. Wow. We had ceremony. And during one of the ceremonies that I had for the group, one of the shamans came up to me and said, you have healing energy. Oh. And I said, oh, okay, lady.
You didn't know what to.
I didn't know what that
yeah.
meant.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was like, "Yeah, you should look into Reiki." I had never heard the word before.
Reiki, right?
So I said, "Okay, I appreciate what you're telling me,
Right.
but let's concentrate on the group." This was a group. The museum had brought 12 people.
Wow, that's good. That's a good sized group. Yeah.
So this is during the cacao ceremony that I had put together for them. And I said, okay, we kept on with the ceremony and we went on with the trip. They loved it. It was amazing. And, I let them go, and I stayed behind, to review everything, what had just happened with my cousin. What can we do next? And the museum was like, this was perfect. We're going to do it again next year. And he was happy. I was happy, but I felt like something was missing. I'm like, something's missing. I said, I don't know what.
Okay.
I said, but something's missing.
Because everything went well with the trip.
Everything was
perfect. But you
perfect.
felt something inside.
I just felt like something wasn't.
Ah.
So then had to, come back and one more trip came out on January of 2020. We went back and I told my cousin, I need to go back. Feel like I need to see the shaman again. And I need to see Shaman Amaya as well.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, let's set this up.
Now, did you know the shaman before, or was this the first time you met them?
These were like the first times I had met them,
Okay.
For the museum.
So you had no relation with them?
I had no relation
Okay.
with them. Just, I put this together for the museum. And so I go back and I see Amaya. And she's like, I've been waiting for you to come back. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And, she talks to me about, my ancestors and that there's an angel that's guiding me. And to look into Reiki. So I come back, and this is January of 2020. Come back, start looking for Reiki, start looking for a teacher.
Right.
And I find a teacher, and I take my first classes March of 2020, and March 13th, 14th, and everything shuts down.
So
March
this
15th.
is right before COVID hit.
Yes,
right before you got your facility.
March 15th, everything shuts down.
Wow.
I just took my first Reiki one, and now what do I do?
Exactly.
So I just kept researching. I just kept learning and taking workshops online, whatever I could find. And luckily I had one Reiki teacher, even though I hadn't taken Reiki with her. She kept reaching out to me.
Okay.
And she's the one that introduced me to Grace Healing.
Oh, okay.
Because they had just started with
the group.
The group had just started.
Wow. So that was the connection.
And that was the connection. And that's where I started, okay, now I can practice my Reiki with the nurses. So she kept,
because they were already doing it. I remember they were already doing it in person. So, and for our viewers, maybe some people might not be familiar with Reiki or what a Reiki master is. What would you say if someone asked you, what is Reiki? Like, how would you describe that?
I describe Reiki as a spiritual massage.
Oh, I love it. Okay, spiritual massage.
That's the way I describe it. That's the way, when I receive Reiki, that's the way I feel it.
So we all know the massages, the body massages.
We all know the massages.
Right.
We all know, and we all know how we feel after we get that massage, and how we're just on cloud 9, and we're just like relaxed and carefree. And I feel that's what Reiki, for me, that's a good way of describing what Reiki is. So that's how I like describing it.
I love that. I love that. And sometimes it's even hard to describe it because everybody has a different experience in Reiki.
Yes.
At least that's been my experience. And it's really allowing them to activate their own healing energy. We become the conduits in the instrument through hand placements. But it's really an experience that, like you said, it's like a spiritual massage.
Yeah.
Just releasing those blocks and the anxiety and the stress and whatever else they may receive that, comes forward for them. So here's COVID. You're getting your Reiki masters. You're connected to Grace Healing Group, and everything just starts to evolve from there.
And then I get COVID. My family gets COVID. I get COVID. I get really sick. I'm having trouble. I can barely walk. I can barely get up. and I'm just going through this process of being so sick. You know, we thank goodness we all get better. And then August of 2020, when things started opening up, Sarah, which is the Reiki teacher that kept
Yeah.
reaching out to,
Right, which I'm also a student of Sarah's. I
Yes.
also got my master's degree.
yes, so she's just this beautiful person, you
Yes.
know, and she just kept reaching out. And August of 2020, she has a gathering at her house, and she invites me, and I get to meet this amazing group of healers.
Healers, yes.
And I'm kind of like, why am I here?
Right, because it's a lot. It's a lot to process.
It's a lot
yeah.
to process.
Yeah.
And I get to meet this amazing group, and one of the healers, which you probably know also, Jessica.
Yes, Jessica De Leon, yes.
Jessica
we love
De
Jessica.
Leon,
Jessica,
yes.
if you're listening, we love you.
And she just gives me a jaw-dropping moment of, are you of Mayan descent? You have your ancestors that are behind you,
Wow.
calling you to bring awareness to your heritage and your culture. And I'm just in awe of what she's telling me.
And you didn't know Jessica from before.
I didn't know Jessica
yeah.
from before.
So now you have all these people telling you that you have, you know, beautiful healing energy, and you have your ancestors, and you're going, what the heck? What is going
like,
on?
what do I do now?
Yeah.
So, you know, I leave Sarah's, I call my husband, and he's like, how was it? You know,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, well, this lady is telling me this. And luckily his reaction is, what do you need to do?
Wow.
And I said, I think I need to go to Mexico. And he's like, okay,
That's beautiful.
how many days do
Yeah.
you need? What do we?
Yeah. So he
And
understood.
he understood.
Wow.
And he booked a trip, and I called my cousin back and I said, I need to meet with the shamans again. I don't know what I'm doing, but I need to come, and I need to figure this out.
Yeah. Like what's happening.
What's
Yeah.
happening? And it was a beautiful trip, and I sit with the Maya in ceremony and in meditation, and then I sit with Ihilio, this amazing Mayan shaman that hopefully you'll get to meet
Yes,
someday.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
And you know, I'm in ceremony with Ihilio, and Ihilio tells me after he does this beautiful blessing, he's like, "This is your shamanic initiation."
Which you weren't there for that.
And I'm like, what does that mean? What is
Exactly.
this? Yeah.
Wow.
So I come back and I share with Sarah
Yeah.
this amazing trip, because these tools came to me during this trip. And Sarah's kind of like, I have somebody else that you need to talk to. So she introduces me to Katie Ingersoll, which is a shaman here.
Yeah. I haven't met her, but I know of her as well.
And Katie said, you know, I have an interview with Katie, and she's like, you know, that was this a dream? Was this? I said,
Yeah.
no, this was in person. These are
Yeah.
the tools, because there was tools that were given to me as I was on this trip. And she says, okay, I need to teach you. And it was in that group, it was me and Jessica
Wow.
that we got to
Work with her.
work with her.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're on the shamanic journey.
Beautiful.
And it's just continued to grow, and I've continued to go to Mexico, and on this journey that I'm on. And now people are asking me, what are you doing? Where are you going? and now
That's a good question. What are you doing and where are you going? Because they're like, I don't know. That's a good
I
question.
don't know.
That's a great question, because a lot of times we don't know.
yeah,
We
and
don't. We're just being guided.
and that's
Yeah.
and that was the beauty of it, that
Yeah.
I was just being guided, and
Right.
I just let it flow. And I would post some pictures each time I'd go on a trip, and post some pictures, and just for myself, just as memories. And now it's, where are you going? What are you doing? Can we go too?
Right.
And now I've been bringing solo trips and group trips,
Yes.
and they're getting to meet the shamans, and we're getting to be in ceremony, and I'm bringing awareness to my heritage and my culture.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, and it's so beautiful how you're sharing your story and your journey, because some people go with that purpose. I'm going, I want to do ceremony, I want to, receive my gifts, or what is my purpose? So some people intentionally go for that, and that's okay. I mean, that's their journey. We all have our calling
Yeah.
a different way, but your calling was you were guided, you were saying yes, you went there initially just to take a group that were interested in learning about that, and here you are, and you find yourself completely very deep into the shamanic work
Yes.
and Reiki.
Yes. And Reiki.
And it's just growing, because I've had the pleasure of reconnecting with you, I would say, but also through Reiki, and also to share with you, because when we were talking, when you told me that, you got really sick through COVID, like, I think the viewers also need to understand that, I know you said you got ill, but I know when you shared with me, it was something that really opened you up in a
Yes.
very spiritual way, because it wasn't like you got COVID and you got sick and that was it. No, you got, there was a lot of healing
Yes.
through your physical body, and I almost feel it was a preparation also for what you were about to receive.
And that's exactly what Jessica called
Yeah.
it. She called it a shamanic death.
Yes.
And I
Or
needed
initiation,
Yeah.
that we call, yeah.
Yeah. So I needed to, I needed to die to be reborn.
Right. Yeah.
And because for preparation of
Right. Preparing your body
preparing myself for the journey that I was going to be on.
absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just amazing, and I'm so blessed and grateful that we reconnected again in that way, because I was also looking for a community of healers of Reiki, because sometimes we feel like, oh, we're doing our practice,
Yeah.
and sometimes we feel alone, and then, but when you came along, I realized, like, wow, there's a lot of healers out there. There's this beautiful community through Grace Healing Group that we could all connect.
Yes.
And really be of service, especially in the hospitals, because, people are wondering, well, what's Reiki? But just bringing the awareness that hospitals are now being open to that, and not just hospitals, but we're talking about doctors.
Yes.
And we're talking about nurses. So we're
Yes.
talking about the medical field now really opening up to this energetic healing, because they know there's something else beyond the medicine.
Yes.
And now they're being more open and experiencing that and bringing that through.
Yes. And it's been amazing just to see this evolution and this growth, and to see that the doctors and the nurses are just so open to it.
Yeah.
And that and it's all energy. It's all energy healing, and it's sound healing, and it's all the healers, with their different modalities
Exactly.
coming together and creating this community for them.
Beautiful gifts and everything. Now, I know there's so much here that we could share, and I'm just excited once to reconnect with you and watching this beautiful growth that's happening in Reiki, in Grace Healing Group. But I know there's something exciting coming, also that you're working on right now that you shared with me, and maybe you want to share here with everyone of what gift or what is coming through right now for you. In your business.
So after my last trip in March, when I came back, I just kept getting the message that there's more to be done. There's more.
More after all
Yeah.
this, right? They're like, it's only been 3 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I came back, and I started a foundation,
Wow.
and it's the Mayan Heritage Foundation.
How beautiful.
And so I'm in the process of developing it right now, developing my board. And as I mentioned, people have been coming on the trips, and how can they help? How can, what else can be done?
Yeah.
And so now there'll be a channel for the donations and different ways for us to be able to help and help the community and continue the education and the awareness to my heritage and my culture.
The ancient wisdom.
Yes.
The ancient teachings coming through
Yes.
in a way that it's beautiful. It's connecting that ancient wisdom, what is available with us now, and integrating the two, just really weaving that wisdom, that remembrance
Exactly.
that
And the fact that these are things that are dying. These are things that are being forgotten,
forgotten, yes.
and we wanna keep them alive. And through the foundation, that is something that that's one of our focuses.
To support and
To
integrate
support, integrate, and continue
the traditions.
the traditions.
The traditions. And just, I think, learning, becoming aware with the culture. Like you said, we kind of forgotten that, and introducing that again in a way that is healing,
Yeah.
in a way that it's very empowering, just really learning about ourselves. Because for me, I know my experience is really learning about myself, because once I drop deep into that, who am I really and what am I here for? What is my real purpose? Through this education, through this ancient wisdom that we are going back to our ancestors, to our abuelitas, our curanderas, to the healers, to the shamans, to the way of our ancestors, we're actually receiving beautiful gifts that we could bring back here,
Yes.
for healing, however it may look like, whatever practice.
It's through it is through ceremony, and it is through different customs and practices, but also we're learning about these archaeological sites, these
yes.
sacred centers,
That's
these
right.
sacred areas, and learning what really happened there. Not just what we learned in the textbooks.
The textbook, what was told or
What
taught.
was, yeah, yes, yeah. It's what are the grandfathers saying? What are
Yes.
the grandmothers saying? What was brought? What stories were given to them?
Yeah. And this is your lineage. This is your
Yes.
ancestors. You come from that.
Yes.
So what better person than to bring that in a beautiful way through you, through this foundation, and through all your work and practices and your growth. Like, that's amazing.
I'm super excited.
And that's why I was excited to bring you here. Because like, this has to be shared. This has, because you're doing
thank
amazing
you.
work. I know you are, and you have been working hard. And this is back in March. It's not like you've been doing this for the past 20,
No.
30 years. Like, you were like on speed here. It's like everything was coming through you really quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
And even when I said, okay, the foundation, and it just happened. It just easy. It's
Right.
just been a easy process, and it's.
But I think because you were ready for that, and you said yes, and I just feel deeply in just having this conversation is like, that is your path. Like, even though you didn't know, you knew, right?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't know what we knew. So like, it's really ingrained in you. It's your lineage. It's in your blood, and it got activated in you, and you showed up for it, and you didn't understand, and you have your beautiful husband that is also saying yes, because our family, when we have them supporting us, it just allows us to really grow and really dive deep into that. So I think, it's beautiful. It's a blessing that, you are doing this, and I'm honored to be able to sit here with you and just really talk to you about that. And I also plan to do the trip with you. We talked a little bit about that, and just also get connected there.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, I know, we're running out of time here, but one message you would like to leave anybody out there that is listening, an awareness, something that you would like to leave our audience with through this talk here.
I would say just be open. Be open to the messages. Be open to the messages that are coming through and receive them. Be open and just receive them, because that's what I did. I was open to it, and I just received it, and I just went with the feeling, with the flow that this was right. So just be open to receiving the messages.
Yeah, trust.
Yeah.
You really trusted that faith or that voice. And if people would like to get a hold of you, how could they get a hold of you, or reach out to you if they want to learn a little bit more about the foundation, or maybe about the Reiki practices, or how, if they're healers, how they could be part of Grace Healing Group? How could they reach out to you?
We're on social media. We're on Instagram.
Okay.
With Grace Healing Group, we are on the website gracehealinggroup.com, and on Instagram, And I'm on Instagram also at Delmy Mungia.
Okay.
And the foundation website is in the making.
Yes. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully will be launched in the next couple weeks. And yeah, so I do have an email through the foundation. They can reach me through there.
Okay.
Which is Hola at
I love that. Hola. I love that. Hola. Say it again.
Hola at mindheritagefoundation.org.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
fun. Well, thank you once again, Delmy, for being here with me, for connecting with me. And once again, I'm honored and grateful that you're here sharing all the beautiful gifts and everything that you're doing and your
thank
foundation is
you.
doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Until next time. Bye-bye.